You only came for the free food, my cousin mocked me at her party. Unaware, I funded the entire $31,000 event. I snapped, then stopped living off my paychecks. I cut off her $800 a week. I didn't come expecting gratitude. I didn't anticipate flowers, but I absolutely didn't foresee her loudly announcing, "So you just showed up for the complimentary food, huh?" Emily's voice carried across the rooftop as her sparkling mocktail gleamed in the sunlight, like she just won a trophy for being the most spiteful person alive. The laughter that followed wasn't warm or polite. It was harsh, stinging, the kind that makes your blood go cold. I stood silently, gripping the $200 praying I had wrapped earlier that afternoon, wondering if anyone at the table even knew I had bankrolled the entire evening. My cousin Emily, the pampered, artificial, social media-obsessed cousin, met my eyes with that sarcastic smirk I'd seen far too often. In that second, she wasn't just mocking me, she was making me invisible. I waited, hoping someone, her boyfriend maybe, or Anivia, would say something, but nobody did. They never do. Emily just kept flashing that smug grin like everything was a joke, like I hadn't just spent nearly a year sending her $800 weekly because she couldn't handle her own bills after quitting her job to chase an influencer fantasy. I paid her rent. I handled her utility costs, bought her groceries when she forgot her wallet, covered vet expenses for a dog she never could afford, paid for spa appointments, even the skincare session she booked 2 days before the celebration. I financed the whole event, her extravagant Great Gatsby party with the balloon display, rooftop music, personalized flower setup with her name in golden letters. Even the desserts no one could touch until she captured a boomerang video. Now I was just a punchline. The unfashionable cousin wearing discount pants, handing over a simple gift card inside a reused envelope. Not glamorous, not wealthy, not part of her filtered world, just an invisible bank account with legs. Frozen, I stood there with a cupcake in hand, her laughter still echoing. I quietly placed it on the table carefully, like I was making the final payment on a debt I never agreed to. I didn't yell. I didn't spill a drink. I didn't offer a farewell. I walked away. No one tried to stop me, not even Emily, the same cousin who once left me 6 weepy voicemails back-to-back because her phone bill was over $1,193.47. And she said she couldn't breathe from anxiety. I paid it that very night. That was just a month ago. Now she was laughing straight at me like I was some clueless idiot who hadn't yet realized I'd been exploited. I skipped the cake. I didn't reply to any messages the following day or the one after, but by hour 36, I had 14 voicemails, 3 texts, and then, right before midnight, a soft knock at my apartment door. Gentle, hesitant, like whoever was behind it knew I might not open. They were right. They should be nervous because this time, I had no more money to give and more truth to unload than ever before. It had started with one small transfer. 11 months later, I was financing her lifestyle like it was my obligation. She never said thanks, but she always managed to send another Venmo request. It began with a call. "Hey, I know this is awkward, but I really need help covering rent this month," Emily had said, her voice wobbling just enough to seem authentic. "Just until I land a few more sponsorships. I swear I'll pay you back next week." That was 47 weeks ago. Spoiler, she never returned a dime. Not even a few bucks for coffee. So why did I say yes? Maybe I was gullible. Maybe I believed family meant something. That's what I told myself. But deep down, it was shame. Shame is corrosive, especially when you've grown up hearing that you're the one who got out, the one with the steady job, the one who should support the rest. At first, it was just rent. Then it was food. Then dental emergencies. Then surgery for her pet. Then she dropped her phone and couldn't post, which meant losing followers, meaning she'd have to rebuild from scratch. She sobbed. I caved. Every single week, $800, often more. I didn't live large. I drove a battered old Civic, ate noodles 4 nights a week, skipped dinners with friends because I couldn't explain why I couldn't split a bill. At the same time, Emily kept sharing oceanside snapshots from getaway weekends, luxury skincare treatments with price tags higher than my monthly electricity charges, and slow-motion clips from boutique yoga classes with $30 drop-ins. I funded her silence, her comfort zone, her perfectly polished persona. And the worst part? She acted like it was business as usual, like I was just fulfilling an assigned duty. "You're always so giving," she'd remark when I transferred her cash. No appreciation, no promise of reimbursement, just that. As if describing me as generous was equal to repaying me. Like calling me kind made me her personal cash source by default. But everything shifted 6 weeks before the rooftop event. She phoned me in hysterics, sobbing, claiming her landlord was kicking her out for demanding rent again, as if that was unreasonable behavior. "It's temporary," she wept. "I'm overwhelmed, so I wired $2,400 in one transfer." The very next day, she uploaded a photo from a new spa. Caption: "When the universe provides, we're abundance vibes." I stared at the screen, reading it multiple times. I was the universe now. That evening, I opened a spreadsheet and started logging every cent I'd sent her way. Rental payments, grocery tabs, salon visits, late-night ride shares, transfers to her hairstylist, $89 to a bakery for grain-free birthday pastries for her dog. Yes, a dog. By month's end, the grand total crossed $31,000. I could have replaced my vehicle, paid off my college debt, booked a vacation, but instead, I single-handedly built Emily's influencer fairy tale. And even then, she had the audacity to label me stingy. That word hurt more than I expected, because it wasn't the first time. Once at a cookout, when I brought iced tea instead of juice, she rolled her eyes and said, "Wow, frugal and forgettable. Typical you." Another time, after I declined to split costs for a joint birthday escape to Waka City, she muttered, "Don't be such a miser." I let it slide. Always did. Because she was dealing with stuff. Because she didn't mean it. Because I was the stable one, the collected one, the one who swept up the broken pieces. But something cracked in me after that spa post. The next time she called to complain that her internet got cut off, I didn't rush to rescue her. I stayed silent. "You still there?" she asked, sounding uneasy. "I'm here," I answered slowly. "But I don't know why anymore." Silence. "You always help," she said at last. "You promised you'd always be there." And that was it. No thanks. No humility. Just assumption. She didn't recognize my support as compassion. She assumed it was owed, like she was entitled to it. And that's when I saw it clearly. This wasn't kindness anymore. This was servitude. That week, I skipped the $800. The next morning, 3 missed calls. Then a text. "Hey, did the payment not go through? My landlord's stressing me out again." I didn't respond. The week after that, she sent a Venmo request. No message, just $800. I rejected it. 2 hours later, she posted a story. "Wild how people vanish when you really need them. Real ones don't bail." I laughed. Then came the birthday invitation, the Gatsby-themed rooftop spectacle. I didn't want to attend, but felt pressured too. She called me herself. "I really need this to go perfectly. I want you there." "I mean that." So I went. I brought a present. I wore freshly ironed clothes. I brought whatever dignity I still had left, and she ridiculed me in front of everyone, joking that I'd only come for the complimentary buffet. They all laughed. Not one person asked, "Wait, isn't that the guy who bankrolled all this?" And now the texts are rolling in, the calls, the desperate begging because the cash flow stopped and she has no backup plan. But I'm not replying because this isn't about dollars anymore. It's about how much of my soul I sold just to feel included and how completely done I am with that bargain. When she arrived at my place crying, I thought maybe, just maybe, she finally got it. But instead, she just doubled down, and I was the one who burned it all to the ground. The first knock came close to midnight. I didn't move. Then a second one came softer this time, like whoever stood there had lost the courage to try again. I already knew it was Emily, so I waited. Then, "Please, I just need to speak," she said. Same tone that used to ring through my phone at 2 a.m. because her rideshare app glitched and she didn't want to pay extra. Same voice that begged for rent money. Same voice that laughed and called me cheap in front of 36 people while holding a mocktail I had paid for. I opened the door. There she stood, mascara smudged, hoodie zipped up over a sparkly dress, heels clutched in one hand like a prom queen who lost the crown. Her stare was glassy, her lipstick smeared, but she was still Emily, the girl who always knew how to look, just broken enough to earn sympathy. "I didn't mean it," she murmured. I kept quiet, just stepped aside. She walked in slowly like a kid bracing for punishment. "I'd been drinking," she said. "It was supposed to be funny." "Stop," I cut in. "Don't go there," she blinked. When you left and didn't respond, I thought you were mad." "But seriously, come on. You know I didn't mean it that way." "No," I said. "You meant exactly what you said." Her lips parted, but I didn't wait for more excuses. "You called me stingy," I said. "In front of a bunch of strangers. Strangers who ate and drank what I paid for, served with gold-tipped forks, and laughed while doing it." "I never told you to pay for everything," she said, her tone breaking. I chuckled bitterly. "No," I raised my brow. "Let's take a look." I pulled out my phone, opened the app, and showed her the screen. Line after line of payments. $800, $100, $1,200, even $36 for sushi because your card was acting funny. You didn't ask. You cried. You pleaded. You manipulated. And when I finally stopped, you humiliated me. She folded her arms, suddenly defensive. "Why are you blowing this out of proportion?" "Perfect," I said, stepping closer. "Then maybe I'm finally speaking your language." That stunned her. She took a step back. "Oh, so now you think you're better than me?" "No," I said coolly. "I think I finally figured you out." She opened her mouth but said nothing. So I kept going. "You stood in front of a crowd and belittled me. You embarrassed the only person who stood by you from the beginning, and now you think that some tears and guilt are enough to make me forget?" Silence. Then my voice hardened. "Don't call me again.